Hello people of YouTube. If you found this video, you might be stuck in your own installation and you're looking for some guidance. We're here to do just that. We're going to cover the installation of the 52-inch Pembroke ceiling fan by Home Decorators Collection. We've already unboxed it and we'll take you all the way through to turning it on. This video is going to cover the complete installation, but if you want to fast forward to a certain point in the video, use the links below and that'll take you to each individual step so you don't have to watch the whole video. This fan is an easy fan to tackle on a weekend project. It has quick install blades that just snap into place. It's got long-lasting LED bulbs, it's got a slide-on mounting bracket, and it's a tri-mount fan, meaning that it can be hung with the included downrod, with an extension downrod on an angled ceiling, or it can be hung on a low ceiling without the downrod. It's wet rated for use in any outdoor location, but it looks great indoors as well. So as you can see here, we've already unpacked the fan, but before we get started, just a couple of notes. If you're hanging this fan in place of a light fixture, you want to make sure that the outlet box is clearly marked acceptable for fan support. If you have a plastic outlet box or it's not marked acceptable for fan support, please replace it before beginning. Also, you want to make sure that the electricity is turned off before beginning. You want to make sure that it's turned off at the wall switch and at the breaker box. This is an easy project, but if you don't feel comfortable working around electricity, please consult with a licensed electrician. Alright, now that that's done, as you can see, we've already unpacked the fan. Just open up the manual to make sure that we have all the parts before beginning, and that way we don't get stuck along the way. So first up we have the mounting bracket. The mounting bracket comes pre-assembled inside the canopy with the decorative ring attached. We'll show you in the first spot. So first up we have the mounting bracket. The mounting bracket comes pre-assembled inside the canopy with the decorative ring attached. We'll show you in the first step how to remove that and get started. You have the decorative motor collar cover. You have the light kit. You're going to have 5 blade arms. Those go along with the 5 blades. Have the ball and downrod assembly. 3 glass fixtures. Have the hardware pack. The motor. 3 LED bulbs. And a socket tool. The socket tool just latches onto the ring inside the light kit and lets you tighten these shades up. We'll show you how to use that as we go along. Then you have the motor. Inside the switch cup with the motor, there's this rubber gasket. Since this fan's wet rated, the gasket seals out from any water intrusion, but you're going to need to remove that to be able to install the blade arms onto the fan, and then you'll replace it once that's done. But we'll show you this in detail once we get to that step. Some tools we're going to need: Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. We like to use a line tester to make sure the lines aren't live. Got electrical tape, some wire cutters and strippers, and of course a ladder. So as you can see here, we got everything we need. We're ready to begin. The mounting bracket comes pre-assembled inside the canopy with the canopy ring attached. To remove the mounting bracket, you'll first need to remove the canopy ring by twisting counterclockwise. This will give you access to the screws holding the mounting bracket inside the canopy. You'll notice that there are 2 standard screws on either side of the canopy and 2 J-slotted screws on either side of the canopy. Begin by first loosening, but not removing, the 2 screws in the J-slots of the canopy. Next, you'll remove and save the 2 standard screws. Once those 2 screws are removed and saved, simply twist the mounting bracket to remove it from the canopy. This fan features a slide-on mounting bracket to make installation easy. The mounting bracket has 2 slots that will align with the 2 screws in the outlet box. To install the mounting bracket, just align the slots of the mounting bracket with the 2 screws in the outlet box and slide the mounting bracket into place. Then you'll tighten the screws in the outlet box to secure the mounting bracket. This is just a demonstration. To install the mounting bracket, first loosen but do not remove the 2 screws in the outlet box. Next, feed the house supply wires through the center hole of the mounting bracket, and then align the slots of the mounting bracket with the screws in the outlet box and slide it into place. Secure the mounting bracket by completely tightening both outlet box screws. To install the fan without the downrod, you'll need to prepare the fan for close to ceiling installation. Begin by removing the warning label on the set screw of the motor collar and use a flathead screwdriver to completely tighten the set screw in the motor collar. Next, using a Phillips head screwdriver, you'll remove and save 3 of the 6 screws on top of the motor housing. This is just every other screw. Use the Phillips head screwdriver to remove and save 3 of these 6 screws. Next, locate the rubber gasket in the hardware pack and feed the wires from the fan through the gasket so that it rests on top of the motor. You'll notice that the large holes of the rubber gasket align with the screws that are in the motor housing, and the small holes align with the screw holes from the screws that were removed and saved. Next, you'll remove the decorative ring from the bottom of the canopy. There are 3 studs inside the canopy holding that ring in place. Simply press those studs with your thumb to remove the decorative ring. Then, feed the wires through the bottom of the canopy so that it rests on top of the rubber gasket. You'll notice that there are notched cutouts in the canopy that align with the screws that are still in the motor, and the small holes will align with the screw holes from the screws that were removed and saved. Then, use a Phillips head screwdriver to replace the 3 screws that were removed at the beginning of this process. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tightened. Once all 3 screws are completely tightened, you can trim the wires and hang the fan. If trimming the wires, measure about a foot of wire from the top of the fan, and then cut the wire and then strip about 3/4 of an inch of the insulation from each of the fan wires. Then twist the ends of the wires to make sure that there are no loose strands. When hanging the fan, you'll use the standard screw hole of the canopy and hang that on the hook of the mounting bracket. Make sure it's hung using the screw hole and not the J slot. This will hold the fan in place for wiring. Before installing the downrod, remove the warning label from the set screw on the motor collar and use a flathead screwdriver to loosen but not remove the set screw on the top of the motor collar. You'll notice a safety tab on the motor collar. That will lock the downrod in place should it ever loosen during operation. Next, you'll remove the rubber band holding all the wire together, and then gently stretch the wires out. Once the wires are stretched out, it's a good idea to twist all the wires together, and that'll make it easier to route the wires through the downrod. Next, gently pull the green ground cable from inside the ball and downrod assembly. Then feed the downrod through the canopy so that the downrod exits the smallest hole, and then place the decorative motor collar cover onto the downrod so that the largest opening is towards the end of the downrod. Next, you'll feed the wires through the canopy ring. Make sure the notches of the canopy ring are facing towards the ceiling, and rest it on top of the motor housing. Next, feed the wires through the threaded end of the downrod so that they exit through the ball portion of the ball and downrod assembly. Gently pull the wires through until the downrod meets the motor collar. Screw the downrod into the motor collar until it is completely tight. Then, use a flathead screwdriver to completely tighten the set screw on the motor collar. Once that screw is tightened, slide the decorative motor collar cover down until it meets the fan. If installing with the included downrod, it's a good idea to cut the wires to make installation easier. To do so, measure about a foot of wire from the top of the ball and downrod assembly, and then strip about 3/4 of an inch of insulation from each wire. After cutting and stripping the wires, twist the ends of each wire so that there are no loose strands. Now the fan is ready to be hung. Before hanging the fan, it's important to note the tab inside the mounting bracket that will align with the slot on the ball and downrod assembly. When hanging the fan, you'll slide the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate the fan assembly until you feel the slot engage the tab and sit in position. This is just a demonstration. To hang the fan, lift the fan assembly up to the ceiling. Note the location of the slot in the ball and downrod assembly and the tab in the mounting bracket. Slide the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate the fan assembly until you feel the slot engage the tab. The fan will drop slightly when seated properly. Begin wiring the fan by taking the fan's black and blue wires and twisting those two wires together. Once those wires are connected, twist those wires together with the black supply wire from the house. This is the power connection. Complete the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Next, take the green wire from the ball and downrod assembly and the green wire from the mounting bracket and twist those two wires together. If doing close to ceiling installation, you'll only have one green ground wire from the mounting bracket. Connect the green fan wires to the bare copper house wire. This is the ground connection. Once the connection is made, complete the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. The last connection is the white wire from the fan to the white house wire. This is the neutral connection. Twist those two wires together and then complete the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Once the wiring connections are made, gently tuck the wires into the mounting bracket to make room for the canopy to attach. Align the J-slots of the canopy with the screws that were loosened but not removed in the mounting bracket, then lift the canopy up and twist to engage the screws in the J-slots. Lift the fan motor assembly off the mounting bracket and align the J-slots of the canopy with the screws that were loosened but not removed in the mounting bracket. Make sure the wires are all tucked into the canopy and then press up and twist to engage the screws in the J-slots. Secure the canopy using the two screws that were removed and saved in the first step. Insert the screws into the standard screw holes and use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten these two screws. Once those two screws are completely tighten the two screws that were in the J-slots of the canopy. To attach the canopy ring, align the slots of the canopy ring with the four screws in the canopy. Then lift the canopy ring up to the ceiling and then twist to engage the screws in those slots and lock it in place. Before attaching the blade arms, you'll need to remove and save the rubber plug in the switch cup. Simply press on the top of the rubber plug to remove it. The hole in the switch cup allows screwdriver access. Now you can remove and discard the rubber motor stops. There are 5 rubber motor stops to prevent the motor from moving during shipment. Once they're removed, you can simply throw them out. This fan features AccuArm blade arms for easy installation. The blade arms have captive screws and an alignment post. The alignment post will align with the long slot in the base of the motor. Simply insert the post into that long slot and the screws will align with the screw holes. Insert the Phillips head screwdriver through the screwdriver access hole in the switch cup and then completely tighten the 2 blade arm screws. Repeat this process for the 4 remaining blade arms. After all the blade arms are installed, make sure that all the screws are completely tightened. Once the blade arms are attached, reinsert the rubber plug into the hole in the switch cup. This fan features quick install blades for easy installation. To install the blades, you'll align the 3 keyhole slots of the blades with the grommets on the blade arm and then push down and pull away from the fan to lock it in place. The spring clip mechanism will lock the blade in place when properly installed. This is just a demonstration of how the mechanism works. Installing the blades, make sure the side labeled "this side up" is facing towards the ceiling, and the grain side is facing towards the floor. Then align the keyhole slots with the grommets of the blade arms, and then push down and pull away until the spring clip mechanism locks the blade in place. Repeat this process for the 4 remaining blades. The light kit attaches to the fan using 3 pre-installed screws on the light kit. Begin by first removing and saving those 3 screws. Those will align with the 3 screw holes in the switch cup of the fan. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove and save the 3 screws on the light kit. Once those screws are removed and saved, connect the wiring from the light kit to the fan by connecting the black to the blue and the white to the white using the adapter plugs. The plugs will snap in place when properly connected. Next, gently tuck the wires back up into the switch cup. Make sure the notch cut out of the light kit is aligned with the reverse switch on the fan switch cup. Insert the light kit into the switch cup and align the screw holes. Once the light kit is in place, use a Phillips head screwdriver and the screws that were removed and saved to attach the light kit to the fan. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tightened. Before installing the light shades, you'll need to remove and save the compression rings from the 3 light sockets. These simply unscrew like a standard nut. Then, place the compression ring into the compression ring tool. Place the glass shade in position, and then insert the tool inside the glass shade and simply screw the compression ring back onto the threaded light socket. Do not over-tighten, as over-tightening could crack the glass shade. Repeat this process for the 2 remaining glass shades. Once the shades are attached, install the bulbs by simply screwing the LED bulbs into the light sockets. Attach the pull chain extensions from the hardware pack by snapping the ends of the pull chain extensions to the ends of the light kit chain and the fan chain. This fan features a 3-speed reversible motor. The reverse switch is located on the switch cup at the bottom of the fan. Switch right creates a downward airflow for use in the hotter months. Switch left creates an upward airflow to pull warm air from the ceiling for use during the cooler months. The fan must be off before changing the reverse switch position. The fan is controlled by the pull chains. Pull the light chain once to turn the light on, and again to turn it off. Pull the fan pull chain once for high speed, twice for medium speed, 3 times for low speed, and a 4th time to turn the fan off. Congratulations! Your installation is now complete. Time to kick back and relax with a nice cold beverage and enjoy your new ceiling fan. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe down below, and that'll help other people find it as well. And as we always say around here, keep it breezy.